What's happening, my people? It's your boy Night God here. Look, if you haven't heard of Anchor by Spotify, let me give you the rundown. Basically, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Here's how it works. Anchor lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter where you are or what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you'll take that podcast and distribute it to the most popular listening platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts, with a single click. Anchor is also the only place you can publish video podcasts to Spotify. With Anchor, creators can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to start your podcasting adventure today. This is the history of perception glass and how red night vision goggles drove soldiers mad during the Vietnam War. Late last year, reports coming out of a small town in northern Russia alleged that citizens were finding shattered glass that seemingly fell from the sky. But according to residents, this was no ordinary glass. Their claim is that when they looked through it, they would see things otherwise not visible to the naked eye. The following video was posted by a Russian citizen on YouTube, showing how this glass works. Check it out and let me know what you think in the comments.
Еще, короче, целый час там простоял. Нифига больше не увидел. Ладно, давайте, всем пока.
Всем привет. Мне сказали, что в ролике у меня еще 2 шара пролетает мимо. Смотрел. Точно. Сейчас смотрим.
Обычное небо, обычные люди, блядь, ходят, все нормально. Оп. Вот такая.
Вот они. Вот 2 шара. Девочка, 2 шара. Даже не заметил во время съемки, когда я снимал.
Needless to say, after seeing this video, I dug into the subject, and here's what I found. During the early 1920s, a scientist by the name of Walter Kilner experimented with a chemical derived from coal tar, known as Dicyanin. This synthetic blue dye was originally intended for use in sensitizing of photographic plates. But during his studies, Kilner would discover that there was much more to this unique chemical than initially thought. In the process of making what he called Kilner screens, he realized that something amazing would happen when placing the dye between 2 panes of glass. After putting on what would later be called aura goggles and looking at one of his fellow employees, he realized that he could see that employee's aura. For those of you that don't know, aura is said to be the light that emanates from living beings. And this light can range in color, depending on the nature of the person it's surrounding. Those who were good-natured would emanate brighter, more vivid colored lights, while those who were dark in nature would emanate reds and blues. But it wouldn't stop there. It's believed that his goggles would also allow you to see paranormal entities or even UFOs. This is because of the dye's ability to block out the white light spectrum. This allowed for Kilner's goggles to concentrate on the said aura. At the time, this ability was believed to be limited to psychics and astral travelers, but his goggles allowed for average citizens to obtain it. Of course, after Kilner released his findings, his colleagues in the field immediately discredited him, calling it a paranormal hoax. He'd only end up producing a small amount of his goggles, and if you could find them today, they're worth thousands of dollars. The study of Dicyanin dye would continue until the 1940s, when the US put a ban on all use of it. So essentially, many believe that he found a way to reach and see another consciousness, that it allowed you to see in another dimension. After 1940, there was virtually no use of the dye until it resurfaced in 2010. A chemist by the name of Tom Buchamp Arnold would begin producing them again, but was immediately shut down. And you can't help but wonder why. This is the history of perception. I mean, what would be the government's reason for banning Dicyanin? Is it because it allowed people to see in a different realm or dimension or at another frequency? Based on Walter Kilner's account, it seems that yes, it is possible. Even today, soldiers who wear the green night vision claim they see UFOs that they would not see with their naked eye. And this took me to a story of an account that took place during Vietnam with night vision goggles. During Vietnam was when the United States Army first patented and introduced night vision goggles to the soldiers. To test this new technology, they assigned goggles to the more reputable officers' squads to see if they worked proper in the field. So the groups that they supply these goggles to had officers that were more established in Vietnam, meaning that they had been on their second or third tours in country. So they supplied these new night vision goggles to the units, but told the officers and the pilots that they were not to wear them. And though this did raise a few of the men's eyebrows, they just obeyed the orders, and the officers required their teams to wear them as soon as dark fell. At first, the new goggles were a hit. They gave them a tactical advantage, and they allowed them to see very clear at night, just with a little red tint. It wasn't until about a week after wearing them that things started to change very rapidly. First, it was the officers that noticed the men who were wearing them were acting out of character, almost angry. Not only that, but they noticed that they would dart glances up into the trees, looking at things that were seemingly not there. Next, the soldiers would start to fight amongst each other, and the group would just implode and come to a horrible ending. In one case in particular, an officer had been to Vietnam for his third tour. He was more widely known and a very responsible leader. He wanted to get back home after the war, so he really watched his P's and Q's. He and his unit had taken off in about 5 or 6 choppers and were headed to the next rendezvous point. The land they were flying over was generally peaceful. He was the lead of the cluster of choppers, and everything was going smoothly for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the flight. Then darkness fell. "All right, fellas, throw your goggles on. It's time to go dark." He no sooner gave the order when suddenly his gunner started ringing out shots. The captain thought, what the hell? He didn't understand what he was shooting at, as they were flying over a peaceful area. He gets up from the passenger seat at the front of the chopper and starts heading back towards the gunner, and sees that he's shooting not at the ground at the enemy, but in mid-air, parallel to the chopper. The other choppers notice this and suddenly make evasive moves, because he was literally shooting in their direction. "Cease fire, soldier! What the hell are you shooting at?" said the officer. The soldier stops suddenly. He can see that he is sweating bullets, and his eyes are dilated as if he's on pure adrenaline. Knowing that drugs were a problem in Vietnam at this time, he quickly glanced him over and realized he didn't exhibit any behavior of being intoxicated. "Right there, sir! Right there! They're flying right next to us! Don't you see them?" The officer glances over. There's nothing there. "Calm down, soldier. I'm not seeing what you're looking at." "Right there! There's some on the treetops. 2 of them. They're looking at me." A couple more shots ring out. "Cease fire!" Confused, the officer doesn't understand what's going on. Then he looks at the guy. The groups that the officer is dumbfounded. He can tell by the look in the soldier's eyes. He believes what he's saying. "Describe them, soldier." "Sir, they have wings. They're about 7 to 8 feet tall. Their faces look almost like gargoyles, and they have horns. They almost remind me of demons." "Aw, come on, soldier, get a grip, get your act together." Then he takes a step back and looks directly at the soldier's goggles. He then hears the voice of his superior. The officers and the pilots are not to wear the goggles. That's when a light bulb goes off. "Give me your night vision goggles, soldier." He hands them over to the officer. He puts them on, and he cannot believe what he sees. Off in the distance, looking at him, are 2 winged creatures that look like demons straight from hell. They look at him and then back at each other, and it seems as if they are saying something. And then suddenly, they look at him and begin flying straight at him. He rips the goggles off. "What the hell was that?" After tearing the goggles off as fast as he could, he looks back up, and they're gone. What in the world did I just see? After having this experience, he ran straight to the front of the chopper, got on the mic, and commanded the entire crew to take off the goggles. The rest of the team took them off, and everything was back to normal. They didn't wear them until the green night vision goggles came out. After the incident, the officer described to his superiors that for the next few months, he had night terrors and continued seeing these entities. And he wasn't the only one. His crew was having the same issue. It took them months to get over just that initial short wearing of the red night vision goggles. He'd notify his superiors and later receive praise for the quick action he took when running into the problem. They'd soon find out that the night vision being in red was what allowed them to see these evil entities. For some reason, the combo of red and the night vision combined allowed them to see almost in another dimension, much like the Dicyanin. And the majority of the soldiers that experienced these night vision goggles all say the same thing. They were all around them, and it seemed as though they were around us at all times. We just don't see them because they're at a different frequency. They'd eventually switch to the green night vision goggles and have no more issues for the rest of the war. But even today, soldiers claim that when using the green night vision goggles, that they often see UFOs that they would have never seen with the naked eye. So what do you think? Do you think these different colors allowed them to see into another realm? Could we be surrounded by angelic beings? Let me know in the comments. So there you have it, my people. I hope y'all are doing well. It's been too long. I apologize. I've had a little bit of a hiatus slash distraction. Had a few things I need to take care of, but I'm going to be back full time, kicking out videos just like I was I already have another one on deck. Really good storyline, really interesting. Has to do with super soldiers in World War II and super soldiers from the American Indian Wars from back in the day. So really intriguing. I never even had heard of them until a follower had brought them to my attention. I'm not going to spoil it, but make sure you stay tuned in because it's fire. And I have missed y'all. I'm going to start going back on lives here soon. I promise you, I will be back on lives. I've been getting messages from people saying they miss them, and I miss them just as much, I promise. So I will be going back live real soon. Just had a few things to take care of and had to do, I guess, outside of content creating life for a minute. So got everything squared away. Now should be smooth sailing, y'all, and I can't wait to get back to it. And I just want to thank y'all for sticking around. Y'all are the best followers, friends, fam, any creator could ask for. And I'm going to make it up to you. So I know that I'm going to, after this next video, after the Vietnam War video, I'm going to kick back to the Land Beyond the Ice Walls story and kind of continue that on. Not sure if I'll necessarily finish it, but I'm definitely going to do like 2 or 3 more videos of that story. Then I want to go back and finish the story of the Wingmakers that I posted recently. So again, make sure y'all stay tuned in. It's going to be awesome. Great content. And as always, man, I'm going to keep y'all on the edge of your seat. Cool stuff. Definitely mind-blowing, rabbit hole type research content. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments of the Dicyanin and why the government banned it possibly, and how you feel about the account in Vietnam. I thought that was very interesting. The red color spectrum, and they were seeing alleged demons. Very crazy. Just curious, I'm going to do a vote of what video you want me to do next. Either the World War II Super Soldier video or the Land Beyond the Ice Walls video. Comment Ice Wall or World War II in the comment section.